And welcome back to Sunday Square Off. Tens of thousands of Arizonans face the loss of their health care under the U.S. Senate bill that would repeal Obamacare. Arizona Senators John McCain and Jeff Flake, as well as Governor Doug Ducey, all on the hot seat as the Senate bill heads to a vote possibly as soon as this week. Joining us this morning to discuss the bill's Arizona impact, personal and political, are Dana Kennedy, State Director of the AARP, and George Califf, President of the political consulting and polling firm Data Orbital, and former political director of the Arizona Republican Party. Welcome to you both. Dana, I'll start with you. Break down the impact, the personal impact of this Senate bill.
Well, thanks, Bram, for having me. I know we now know why this was done in secret, and we know why they're in the hot seat. This bill is a bad bill for Americans as well as Arizonans. It opens the door for Medicare vouchers, which will impact people who have Medicare. It also allows age rating, which allows insurance companies to charge 5 times more for insurance based on age, 50 plus. And then it also cuts millions of dollars out of Medicaid and leaves the door open for vulnerable citizens and people with disabilities.
And George, let's talk about that. One analyst says it doesn't necessarily eliminate Obamacare, which some conservatives don't like about it, but it does kill Medicaid over the long term. How big a blow is that to Arizona with our large Medicaid population?
And obviously the Congressional Budget Office hasn't yet scored the bill, but some estimates have it being a $700 million hit to the Arizona budget. And I think the point that you made is that it is drawing problems from the conservative wing of the party because it doesn't go far enough. But if it goes that far, it could then cause other concerns.
And then you have people like Doug Ducey and John McCain expressing concerns about the potential impact on hospitals here, rural hospitals.
Yeah.
How big a problem is that for this bill?
I mean, absolutely. If it's it was a big enough problem for the governor to send a letter to Senator McCain a couple days before the Senate version dropped, outlining concerns. And all 3 of the concerns that he had in his letter did actually come to fruition and were part of the Senate version that was dropped yesterday.
And let's go back just to the Obamacare piece of it, because that isn't as tough as what conservatives want, and yet supporters say it's too tough. How do you see the Obamacare piece?
I mean, I'm not here to defend Obamacare. We know that there's problems with it, but I think that we should actually start with what's wrong with what's not working, and let's fix that. You know, I think that as far as it not going far enough, that is grave concerns. And we've done a lot of research with our members as well as the general at large, and there's nobody that supports this. I mean, 13% maybe support some aspects in this bill.
So the House bill goes farther on Obamacare than the Senate bill does. How far would Republicans like to see this bill go?
I think it was clear that the 4 conservative members of the Senate, Senators Cruz, Lee, Paul, and Johnson, all would like to see full repeals. And even the governor himself began the letter that he sent to Senator McCain by saying, we've campaigned on a repeal of Obamacare. We understand that the system is broken, which is obviously why almost no one is willing to defend Obamacare in its current state. Now it's just a matter of what do we do to solve it.
And then the whole what do we do to solve, what would Governor Doug Ducey and the legislature have to do to deal with the loss of Medicaid money from the feds? Wouldn't that just blow up the budget?
Absolutely, and the governor has done a tremendous job of increasing K-12 funding and dealing with the problems that we have in this state year over year since he took office. And with a hit this big to the state budget, it would absolutely have catastrophic effects and not allow the governor and the members of the legislature to continue on the plan, especially with K-12 funding.
And I know a lot of people are concerned about the whole process, done in secret.
Oh, absolutely.
It's supposed to be voted on next week. There have been no hearings. How big a problem is that for both of you?
I mean, I think we would like to weigh in on it. You know, we have gone to D.C. to talk to our members of Congress as well as the senators, and you know, we weren't even able to meet with our own senators to address the concerns. You know, we started with the House version of the bill, and now we're looking at the Senate version of the bill. I mean, it's only been out for 24 hours, and now they're going to have to vote for it in a week.
What will that secrecy come back to bite Republicans, because this is the very thing they complained about with Obamacare?
And that was the point I was going to make, is we absolutely were upset the method by which the original health care bill was put into place. And so to do even something remotely similar, which Senator McCain had issues with earlier in the week, is not a good idea and just starts us off on the wrong footing. But I will also caution against any doomsday scenarios. The health care bill changed tremendously as it made its way through the House, and so will the Senate version, and then it will change even more so should it pass and go to conference.
All right, we're going to keep talking when we come back with Dana and Chad on the political impact here in Arizona.